What's going on, everyone? This will be a quick, nice yoga flow for the hips. Go ahead and get on your mat, get ready to go. As I tinker with my watch, enjoy the nice view of the Lake Tahoe right behind me. Reach up, breathe in, bend forward. Walk back into a plank, lower down, cobra up. Breathe deeply here. Push up into a down dog. I had just finished an intense kettlebell workout right before this, so bear with me if I'm moving kind of weird or slowly, super sore. Rest in the down dog. Bring the feet forward fold, come halfway up and then bend forward. Come all the way up, breathe in. Reach up again, fold forward. Halfway up, fold forward. Now we're gonna go back into a plank, lower down. Peel up. Drive those hips to the floor. Keep the arms straight. Come back into a down dog. Roll forward into a plank, lower down, peel up, breathe in. Open it up right here and then push back. Now you're gonna bring your left foot forward into a lunge. Make sure your weight is in your heel and then the ball of your back foot. You're kind of driving both feet toward each other to get a nice stretch. Come to the floor, lower the knee down. Now kind of push your hips toward the floor. Get an even deeper stretch. Bring that foot up to your buttocks and grab it and pull it in. Now you don't have to pull it all the way into your butt cheek. As you can see, I'm not doing that because I'm working into it. You don't need to immediately go so deep as you can hurt yourself. Just kind of playing around here. I'm also kind of like giving force against my hand with my foot, like kicking into my hand. But don't worry too much about that. If you're really tight, even just actively bringing the foot up. But now we're in a lizard position. You don't have to bring the elbows down either. Just kind of work down as much as you can and breathe. You want to be uncomfortable, but you don't want to be in pain. Keep the breath going here. You can lower that back knee if you want to. I'm just keeping it up to get a little bit more of mobility into the joint. So now we're gonna lower down, peel up, breathing, and then we're gonna push back into a down dog. Rest here in the down dog, breathing, getting a nice stretch through the hamstrings, through the shoulders. Now we bring the other foot forward now. Same thing on this side. You're reaching up actively because the more you reach up, as you're lunging, the more you get into your psoas. And you want to keep that breath going, breathing with the diaphragm to further work into the psoas. The psoas is an extremely large, important muscle that is heavily neglected and typically responsible for the pain and discomfort that most people feel in their lower backs, obstruction of posture, things like that. So we're lowering the knee down just like we did on the other side. I'm gonna bring that foot up, and as you'll notice here, this is my more delicate knee. I notice that if I just reach back and grab and pull it in immediately, sometimes it can really hurt me. So I kind of work into it. I bring it up using my hamstring, kind of like an active stretch. And then once I feel like I'm warmed up into the joint, I'll reach back and grab it and slowly start pulling. And it's already gotten a lot better. I used to not even really be able to do this position with this knee, and I don't know why. It's just a flawed knee. No, I'm just kidding. It's just an imbalance. My left side has always been more tight than my right side, so that's why we're doing yoga. I want to balance that. Everybody has one tight side. I'd say that's kind of your primary goal in yoga is working into your tight side and trying to balance the body so that both sides are even, or as even as you can get them. So now we're coming down into a lizard. Again, you don't need to raise the knee off the floor or touch your elbows to the floor. Those are just things that I'm doing to get more of a stretch. If you want to lower the knee and come up on your hands because it's too much, that's totally fine. Kind of work into it and bounce down the hips, and now we're going to come back into down dog. We're going to bring that left leg forward into a pigeon, and then we're going to bring our back leg forward as well to create a 90-90 setup with our legs. It's a very popular position, super popular in Kinstretch, if you guys are familiar with that, and I'm actually working to get my certification in that so I can further instruct. But here we're gonna lift our back foot off the floor using your glute as much as you can. If you can't do that at all, just the force of trying will be good. If you start to cramp, come out of it, go back into it. Now we're gonna lift the knee off the floor, rooting the ankle. You're using the power of driving your ankle down to bring that knee up. Now we're just gonna chill in this position. Even just chilling in this position is really good. Start to open your hips up. Now we're gonna slowly bend forward using our left leg that's pigeoned in front of us to support us. If that's too difficult, put your hands on the floor and just slowly kind of bend into it. Again, if you're cramping, when I first started doing these 90-90s, I would cramp so much. So don't think that that's a bad thing. It's completely natural, and it's a good sign because that means you're working into the tightness in your hips, you know. Do weird things here, like I'm just kind of twisting around, and this is my weird side. Like this side is extremely hard, which means that I don't have much internal rotation in my right hip, because that's basically what we're challenging here and testing. So now we're gonna do the same thing on the other side, testing the internal rotation of the left hip and the external rotation of the front hip, right hip. I'm just gonna reach up because I feel the need to. Reach up and twist because I feel that I'm tight, moving in that direction. So if you wanna follow me, do so. If you feel like maybe moving in the other direction is extremely weird and tight, do that. And as you can see, I'm kind of just exploring the position, twisting my body, changing levels, coming forward, things like that, just to test my boundaries, to test where I feel is most tight in the hips. It's what yoga is all about. It's exploration. I can only lead you through these movements, but I can't tell you what you're feeling. you have to tune in and make the adjustments. So now here I'm just kind of enjoying a nice lake view. No, I'm just kidding. I'm doing a little twist here because it feels a little awkward. So now I'm lifting that back knee up. And then go ahead and lift your foot, the left foot. Root the knee into the floor and lift your foot. Because I believe I missed that part. I'm doing it right here a little bit. But you can't see my left foot, but I think I already lifted it. So work on lifting that left foot and rooting the knee. And then you can take some bows, as I'm doing here. It's really important to try to lift that back foot while the knee is rooted though, because you're turning on kind of like external glute muscles that nobody uses. That's why a lot of the pressure and strain goes into our lower back, because a lot of these glute muscles we're not accessing, we're not using them properly. So I'm gonna come into a 90-90 again on the other side. It's just such an important position. Like you can just see like it like offsets my body a little bit and I have to get used to it. So here I'm gonna stretch out the front leg, get a little hamstring stretch in the front leg while still working into the internal rotation of the right hip, which is extremely life-changing. I mean, ever since I've been opening the internal rotation of my hips and external rotation, but just rotation in general, it's changed so many things. Just my whole entire mobility, my spine, my back, squatting, things like that, taking loads. So now I'm just trying to isolate my spine by keeping my hips as square as I can and moving around. Bending forward, bending to the side, twisting. Doing things that just feel good. Try to splay your toes out as much as you can too on that back leg. The more you splay your toes out, the more you're kind of activating your peripheral nerves as much as they can, and the more you activate those end nerves, you start to get some of the stuff in between working. Now we're gonna bring that leg back in. We're gonna start lifting it off the floor. So now we're really testing the kind of internal groin muscles. I'm gonna set it down. Reaching up, breathing here, spending time in this 90-90. I don't even know what I'm doing here, man. I'm just moving, and you guys should do the same. Just spend time in this 90-90 position. Work into the angles that you feel are most tight in your body. Because that's what I'm doing. I'm doing what feels good for my body. It's really hard to give a cookie cutter, approach to this. I'm just doing some spinal waves. Aesthetically, these don't look that good, but I'll tell you this, I don't care. You just want to make your spine move and do whatever kind of feels good in the moment. That's what I felt I needed. So now we're going to come into a squat. And I know what you're thinking. Why didn't we do 90-90 on the other side? Maybe I should have told you this before. But we're not doing 90-90 on the other side because we're doing our tighter side. So whatever is your tighter side, do it twice because you want to equalize the two sides. So if you felt that one side of your 90-90 was a little bit, looser and easier to sit in than the other one was almost impossible or it's really tight, do that side twice. If it wasn't your right side, I'm sorry. I made you do your other side twice, but it's okay. You'll do this again. Now we're just in the squat position, using our elbows to push into our knees and open up our hips. It's a great position. Learn some of these movements from the famous Ido Portal, his squat series. Now we're going to reach up, like so. Make sure you're driving with the elbows. This is a great mobility exercise for your entire body. Your spine, all the way from your hips to your neck, your shoulders. Great for opening the thoracic spine. Just a great movement overall. I do this like every morning. Just wake up, fall onto my yoga mat, and start reaching, squatting. It's a great way to just get the whole body involved. And we're gonna pray to God. No, I'm just kidding. We're doing some, I don't know what to call these, but you're trying to touch your forehead to the floor. Maybe you're not touching it, but it's okay. And then you come all the way up. And this will start to really open up your hips and your lower back. This is a great one for the lower back. Love this one. Your lower back, if you have problems with it, might get a little tight while you do it, but you'll notice like as you do it, it starts to open up. Now we're just gonna simply come into prayer position. Same thing, using the elbows to kind of push the knees out. All right. Final position. Come into a butterfly. And start actively stretching. So start driving the knees to the floor and opening the feet up like a book. Don't worry too much about how it looks, just worry about how it feels. Now you can start using your hands to kind of push down on the knees as more of a passive stretch. Not too hard, work into it. Nothing crazy. Breathing here. Now I'm slowly pushing my knees into my hands as I push my hands into my knees. Looks like I'm not doing anything, but very good movement. Now we'll finish off with some knee taps. So we're keeping the hips square, but we're just kind of rocking each knee to their sides, which is another great one for the hips. It doesn't take too much energy. Great way to just end the practice. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Do this every day and your hips will be smooth. Peace.